Hey yo, it is March the 30th, 2020. My WhatsApp no longer functions, right? I didn't use it too much and stuff, and it makes me wonder what exactly is going down as far as WhatsApp. It's not really a big deal. I don't wonder that hard, but it's interesting. And also, I wonder. I'm pretty much playing it cool right now. It's just taking a look at my screen. It says my WhatsApp is out of date. It's like, dude, I'm not even trying to use my WhatsApp. Inconvenient, right? I'm trying to see what's going on with the internet right now, currently. I'm just staring at the screen, seeing if it'll be online, right? It's reminiscent to a night that we had the other week in which for maybe 2 minute intervals, it would let me to believe that I was online. And I may have very well been online, but then later on the applications say, you know what, you wasn't connected. I'm sorry about that. And it'll leave me a message, and I'll be like, what the heck? I was never connected? What was I doing for that amount of time? Was I in a black hole and stuff? Like, and it's quite frustrating. And assuredly, due to the headlines, it would lead you to believe that, oh yeah, the internet is getting bogged down. There's too much, and it's too much bandwidth, and it's too many people. Someone should do something about that. The amount of people and stuff seems to be too many and stuff. They get on the internet and bog it down. I don't believe in any of that. I think it's all made up and malicious in nature. All right, but I'm just saying, like, that's what some people would be led to believe. I don't believe it at all. In fact, I'm a little bit suspicious of it. All right, but meanwhile, I'm looking at my screen right now, and I couldn't say one way or another. It's one of those things where sometimes you just gotta get confirmation from the outside before you can even know. But I couldn't say whether or not we're online, whether or not we're gonna stay online, whether or not I'm just talking that jibber jabber, and really, I don't even need to be doing that. I could be doing some other stuff, which would be very helpful and beneficial to other parts of my life. All right, which is what happened the other day. A little bit frustrating. I don't know. Maybe we're online. Thing is, right before I went on earlier, or right before I went on right now, actually, I restarted my phone. And the reason I did this is because I tried to go online earlier, and then it was like, oh, no, you're not online. But it was after like a minute and a half of me jibber jabbering. And so, like, I felt dumb. Like, I wasted some time. So I was like, I don't know what to do. It's kind of like last night, or not last night, but last week, that one night. I couldn't get on. A little bit of reminiscent of that. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll restart my phone. And maybe that'll make everything all better. And for some reason, it typically does. I don't know what's the deal with that. But I've noticed that it's like if I ever have a problem with it, some things I just turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. All right. And for some reason, this seems to do the trick. Now, since I have one person up in the building, I appreciate that one person. I'll keep an eye on the comments just in case. All right, especially if you can let me know, like you can hear me. But after a while, I guess I'll assume that you can hear me. Meanwhile, I did want to start off with the thing, and I know that sometimes we buffer and stuff during videos, and my technology can't handle it. But right before actually the broadcast, I thought of something. Sometimes it just pops into my mind. Um, and I remember this memory of this girl and stuff. She was singing Whitney Houston. I was actually listening to some Whitney Houston just the other day and stuff. And crack or not, I mean, that's world class talent, right? And I'll punch you in the nose if you say any different. Now, here's a lady, and so this is it's like a two-parter because some people are fearful out there for race relations as far as Chinese people think I'm gonna sock them in the nose because they got corona. Meanwhile, like that would automatically immediately give me corona, and so there's no way that anybody's going and punch a Chinese people just because they got corona, because if they thought they really had corona, they would not touch those people, right? So, anyways, but like race relations ain't nothing and stuff. I love me some Chinese people. In fact, I love every person in the world. to exclude no people. It's just that the Chinese Communist government is a little bit of a downer. Anyways, I want to display this real quick. See if we could do it without buffering. I don't know that they're in China, but they're somewhere in Asia, I tell you that. Hanging out at the mall. Turn that up, buddy. Alright, y'all, admittedly, it's probably not Chinese. It's probably not China we're talking about, but still it's Asia, alright? And holler at Chinese people anyways. Love for all my Asian people out there as well.
Treats you kind, hands I hold, you have you dream of, and I wish to you joy and happiness. Above all this, I'm wishing you love, love. Yeah.
Y'all gets me every time. I don't know about y'all. I would assume it does out there. Y'all stayed on with me. And I'd be shocked and surprised if that wasn't buffering. Man, I think y'all got it in good. At least it didn't tell me. They didn't tell me it was boyfriend. I don't know about y'all, but it brings back memories. And I'll be quick to say, crack or not, just it speaks to my I don't even say my soul, but it does pull on my heartstrings and stuff, man. Like that song. Anyways, I don't know what we're doing exactly tonight, not necessarily. And I brought that up before y'all got on. Holler at your boy up in the comment section. I'll see if I can keep an eye on it. All right. Like to keep a tabs on y'all. Oh no, you don't. Google Assistant will like volunteer to listen to me, and it's like, first of all, I already know Google Assistant's already listening to me, so it's like it pops up and it's like, hey, I'm listening to you now. Can I help you? It's like, I know for a fact you're already listening to me, and no, you can't help me. I've never legitimately asked you. I don't even know what a Google Assistant does, dude. I don't know what it does, so it keeps on being like, oh, I'm ready for you. Can I help you? It's like, no, I don't think you can help me necessarily. Um, maybe it could help me. I wonder if it could help me on my broadcast. But, anyways, I got it. We're kind of going willy nilly right now. I can hope that hopefully that y'all can appreciate that out there. I'm gonna try and get my wherewithal and stuff and see if y'all haven't heard about these things. Maybe some things y'all heard about that I don't know about, and trust me, I do want to know about them. All right. But in the meantime, to kind of explain myself, no excuses, but to explain myself, it's like, just resting and recuperating this weekend. We did a little broadcast last night on YouTube. Some people caught that. Of course, I deleted it, right? But I got a copy of it, so I'll probably upload parts of it somewhere on like BitChute or something like that. Um, and we were talking about Davey Hogg. We might talk about him a little bit tonight, especially if he's requested up in the comments section, but I'm not sure if we will. I don't think there's any news regarding Davey Hogg. All right. And so we're going willy nilly, but the reason is I got I was getting some stuff done earlier today as well. I like to make sure I'm very regulated on a Monday because that's the first day going into the week, and I kind of work overnight and stuff. You kind of got to like ease yourself into it. So I always take a nap on Monday, and I make sure to get in that nap on Monday for sure. You don't want to miss that nap on Monday. So I did that, but also shortly after getting up from the nap, I eventually made it to my front door. I was thinking of going down and checking the mail, see if I got a package because I was expecting some stuff, some investments actually. And I was going to, but I was stopped at the door. Right there in front of my door was two packages, two separate packages, two separate investments. And so I thought I would share them with y'all. As far as the ones that I got today, and I've been getting a couple packages over the past couple of days, over the past week or so. Very good investments. Today, what I got was three more of these four-tiered sprouters and stuff for all my gardeners out there. There's these things, they sprout sprouts and stuff. If you go on like the internet, go on Google and type in like a seed sprouter or whatever, something like that, you might find one that's 4 tiers. It's like regulation generic over there at Walmart. You can get them delivered, and if you get enough, they'll do free shipping, which is what I took advantage of, and I got three more, because here's the thing. Recently, I got a seed sprouter, a 4-tiered seed sprouter, and it worked awesome. It's amazing. I don't know how many people get out over there and they're in the gardening type of thing. They might use a seed sprouter, but also I've noticed it's become very popular because people would be eating sprouts now. It's the trendy thing. You know, that Whole Foods type thing where, not to say Whole Foods, but people get on nutrition kicks and people get to trending about certain things. Like right now, for example, sprouts are very big. I seen a lady on Joe Rogan, for example, talking about it. I forgot what's her name, but she was talking all about sprouts and like the nutrition benefits of sprouts and stuff like that. All right. So I was thinking about all that. Obviously, a lot of people out here have been thinking about their health and their diets and this and that. So I'm one of those people, especially because that's what a lot of my business is going to be about. Pretty much that's my whole business, what it's going to be about. My second income that I'm planning on doing, but I'm going to play it cool because economically speaking, we're in a weird way right now. And so I think I'm going to build up some resources, build them up, and not even actually start the business until maybe late April, maybe even after April. I know y'all been hearing some things out there. Donald Trump's been saying some things. He's been talking about, if I'm not mistaken, social distancing, right? Oh, up until April 30th. Now, people have been thinking about Easter. People have been thinking about timelines in general. Some people feel like their lifestyle's been hampered and stifled. You know, it's interesting because somebody asked, I think my dad asked me actually earlier today about if my lifestyle's been hampered, and actually not in the slightest. Like, there's nothing that I wasn't doing before that I'm not doing right now. So, of course, I'm being careful, wash my hands and stuff like that. Shout out to the three people up in the building. We haven't even gotten into the broadcast yet, but I just felt like telling y'all my lifestyle hasn't really been hampered, except for like Target won't have paper towels sometimes. That's really the only thing I felt thus far. But at the same time, I could see what's going on around me, and it does not look pretty. Not to me. It looks like a taste of something very foreboding to come. And we'll probably talk about that and stuff. I say a comment, oh, good afternoon, mate. Over there this afternoon, I'm sure, over there. So it's like, I don't know if you're winding down or what you're up to and stuff, man. I'd love to hear what you're up to, man. It's a legend. And when I say that, I will punch you in the nose for saying any different, because he's put out an amazing archive on YouTube alone. And who knows? I mean, I know he's a fencing champion, but who knows besides that? I mean, I know he's a teaching legend, but even besides that, who knows what Maitreya Mark's been up to? All sort of things. I'm sure we want to hear about him. All right, and I definitely want to get a feel, especially about the Australia area in general, just because I haven't been hearing over the past few days too much about it, and I would like to know. But anyways, they were talking about timelines, right? As far as social distancing, and the fact that I brought it up, it's like, well, I might as well talk about it, I guess. As far as my opinion goes, it's like, okay, I think that'll be all right. Me personally, I see the devastation basically that's setting in for a lot of people, and it's not good for me because we're not in a vacuum here. If your economy sucks, then it's going to bring down my economy. And I know that. It's not good. There's all sort of solutions and whatever, pork barrel spending, if you will, boondoggles and stuff, and I'm sure it's going on. I'm sure of it. I know. And there's really nothing I can do about it, but I'm just kind of riding the wave, as I'm sure most people are out there, right? And I'm thinking about it, and it hasn't affected me on my job status because my job status has not really changed at all. It's one of those quote essential jobs, even though there's a lot of unessential jobs, quote and unquote, out there that are still working, and I don't blame them. In fact, I want them to continue working and selling goods and keeping the economy going, because it would be devastating if they didn't. And so, timeline's interesting. For example, I just went to the farmer's market and kind of find out that's essential as well, as I would assume, but a lot of people were kind of surprised by that. That is an essential market and stuff. Their business was way down, but I can assume, and typically, it does take a while for people in San Antonio to realize that farmers markets are the thing to do. They wait until basically late spring anyway, so the timeline isn't that far off, all right? Meanwhile, I'm going to just play it cool until about the end of the timeline, because I noticed that I still got to get some stuff together and stuff. There's no need to rush it necessarily, because I still had to get my vehicle together, for example, and this and that, get my license or whatever, which shouldn't be too hard. Get that sort of stuff, the little nitty gritty. Make sure my tax stuff. I already got my tax ID, got my name set up. The One Man Market. You heard it here first. I got this and that going, and so I'm just gonna build up. And not only that, I'm gonna work on my sprout garden, because I just got these sprouters in the mail. I just got the 3 extra ones. Now I have 4. So count on 4 different seed sprouters, and they got 4 tiers each. So that's 16 different trays of different, and I got 5 different kinds of seeds that I'm sprouting right now. Right now I'm looking at literally some wheatgrass that I grew, And I'm looking actually at some alfalfa that I grew as well. I'm gonna check out the comments in a section. I see that they're pouring in. I appreciate y'all, man. But yeah, I'm looking at these sprouts, alfalfa and wheatgrass, and I got these other sprouts growing. I'll tell you about them later and stuff. I got a few other different kinds, and I'll build that up. I'm gonna be the sprout man. All right, I'm gonna rec shop on sprouts. I noticed that sprouts is a building market. There's like, for example, there's a sprout guy at the farmers market that I like to go to. And it's all good, man. I love that sprout guy, and I wish him all the best. And I hope he is the sprout king of San Antonio. Meanwhile, the sprout market is just wide open. I think anybody could jump into it. And from what I heard, mad nutrients. Now, we're fixing to find out, but I don't see why not. There's 4 people up in the building. I can't even hardly believe it. All right. Because honestly, I just thought it would be in and out, and just a simple preview into going into D Live actually. And we've been doing some stuff on D Live, but I got to do some more stuff on D Live. I got to remain regular on D Live, because they play the replays. And if you go to D Live and you go to my account, you can and just follow it, and you'll be able to access the replays just in case if you miss it and stuff like that. But we're supposed to get on there more. Thing is, I was gonna jump on this application tonight actually and go on D Live. I had this idea in mind, and it's not gonna work out. I realized because the feature that I wanted to use, I actually had to pay for it. Come to find out, and I didn't know that. I thought it was exactly $0 and stuff, and it turns out it's more than that. I'm not actually willing to pay it, so it's like okay, it kind of jumbled up my night. So all right, we're gonna figure out where we're going tonight. Meanwhile, I wanna holler at, we got Maitre Mark up in the building. All right, he says the government is paying wages, is paying bills, is paying rent. Dang, dude, he's paying all that. That's interesting. I want to know more about that. So, what type of government does that? A communist one. That's true. And you could bet your bottom dollar, your ever cheapening bottom dollar or whatever it is over there in Australia, that's going to get inflated for sure. And that's the point. It's put you in more debt. And it's definitely going to put you in more debt. And whether we like it or not, whether Donald Trump likes it or not, it seems as though the tippy top of the people is going to get all sort of bailed out, and they're going to keep on rolling. They're not really going to feel it too hard in the pocket. Meanwhile, what it does is basically devastate small businesses, all right, especially ones that were not ready to adapt in this sort of nature. All right, and so it's interesting, and I find it weird because I don't know if that's correct or if that's just misspoken, but how's it that they're paying bills and they're paying rent? They're paying bills and they're paying rent and they're paying wages? Or because typically your wages would pay for the bills and they would pay for the rent, would they not? So wouldn't they be paying y'all double if that was the case? And as rich as someone might seem at first to get like $1,200 in the mail, you definitely stop feeling very rich after a while when you know for sure that your money is going to be all sort of inflated. All right. And you'll know because like the day-to-day commodities you're going to start to notice will go up in their value, and you'll spend a lot of money and break yourself off. All right. That's inflation. But Major Mark said could in a few weeks. The government said the economy cannot recover unless we bring in a new world order. Oh man, so since we're on the topic, we were talking a little bit about this last night and stuff. Of course, I deleted. Well, I didn't delete the video, but I privatized it because it's going to get me deleted off YouTube. So I went ahead and privatized it. What we were talking about last night, but I want to talk about that right now. All right. For example, because some people would be led to believe, and I kind of see what I kind of would lean that way as well. It's that Donald Trump is, for example, and there's a lot of players in the game, but Donald Trump is trying to avert a total, absolute, very visible disaster in everybody's lives right now. And there's certain entities probably who would like to just, in a gradual sense, but more and more exponentially, just bring down the hammer as far as wrecking everybody's life. All right, so Donald Trump's trying to fill it out, and what I can see from here, and just like from people talking about, say, this virus going around, and what they've heard about it. Trust me, I've heard some really, really bad things. Right, honestly, like nightmarish things. And as I discussed last night, stuff directly involving the testicles. Right, and I don't know what a better way to put that. But that sounds scary as hell, all right? Everything about it, the lung tissue being scarred up and stuff, that sounds really, really bad, all right? And, we could, like, I don't know, I guess we could discuss all the different possibilities, technically, and I've heard a lot of them, and I really do appreciate all the different possibilities. All right, like for example, it could be like many different variations, what they call all, and they group it all into what's this COVID-19 category. But many different variations. Some could be like more deadly than others, or perhaps the way it was dispersed out into communities, that those communities absorbed the impact in certain different kind of ways. Just all sort of different possibilities. But I want to be very simple minded, all right, so I don't get all overwhelmed. And the way I've been looking at it is that Donald Trump is trying to avert us from breaking ourselves off so hard. Now we're gonna break ourselves off pretty damn good. And I think anybody out there who's out there thinking that we're gonna pull through, and then a few months from now we're all gonna breathe a sigh of relief, and it's like, oh man, I can't believe we averted that. No, I don't think there's any possibility that that's gonna happen at all. No, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry about that, but I really don't think it is. I think the best case scenario is that we take a serious haircut and probably be dealing with this thing for the next couple of years. And I mean, on your day-to-day life, you'd be surprised at the weird random things that'll be messed up in the supply chain when your economy is all jumbled about. So that would be the best case scenario and stuff. But meanwhile, okay, when you incorporate the disease and the way it makes impacts on certain countries, before I get back to the comments, I would like to say, as far as the United States of America goes, we've been seeing the impact, and of course, they imported the disease directly towards San Antonio, and since day one, I was like, I don't like that idea. I think they're gonna really have accidents, whether or not they are accidents. Here in San Antonio, it's gonna spread the disease. That's what I think. And then guess what? It happened just the way that I said it would, on the same exact timeline, pretty much. But okay, now we're at the point. People are really wondering, because a lot of people tend to think that things are fake these days, all right? Can't blame them. In fact, a lot of those are my people. In fact, I would say those people are my people for the most part, but unfortunately, not everything is fake. I think a lot of stuff is fake. I think a lot of stuff is tomfooled with here. And I think there's a lot of propaganda. I think I think the majority of it was propaganda. I think, all right? But at the same time, I'm pretty sure it's a disease going around. It's real, and people, there's bodies dropping and stuff like that. All right, so it's you gotta kind of incorporate the severity of that sort of idea. I mean, I'm getting, I'm not sure of the proof of this, but I'm hearing it's tearing up people's testicles. All right, causing me to think twice. But meanwhile, okay. I don't see the disease around me necessarily. Like, I don't see a lot of people contracting it. But then again, from people's computer models and their guesstimates, they say it's really not going to hit until about 2 weeks from now. That's what I've been hearing. That's when it's going to hit the peak. And in fact, I think Donald Trump had brought that up as well. I mean, he has a press conference about it every single day. And so does like all these governors. Every single day, they're having press conferences about it. And so that kind of like gives you an idea of the timeline that he's thinking about, for at least for America. And at first he was saying, I want to be back on board. I want to be back and running and stuff. We actually can't break ourselves off and be dirty bums for very long. So we got to go back to work. And he was thinking about Easter. And I thought, that's a good idea. And that sounds like middle of April, just about. So that sounds like a pretty good idea, and perhaps other people can get back online. Meanwhile, I've had a job this whole time, so I'm not tripping on it in that sense. Thank God, and I know a lot of people are in a serious situation right now. Okay, and it's going to definitely affect me. There's no doubt about that. I was thinking, I was like, the middle of April, that sounds pretty dang good. But meanwhile, as far as the disease goes, I think in all safeties, when safety is concerned, what I've been feeling is exactly, and I don't want to prove it, but it's exactly what Donald Trump just said recently when he was saying, you know what, we need to get back on board. We need to get America back to business, but at the same time, we better play it real cool. And I'm talking about real cool over the latter part of April, all right, and into late April, into the end of April, in fact. We're going to do this social distancing thing. And a lot of people are talking about, in fact, people going back to work, all sort of masks being distributed just to be on safety side. Because here's the thing, ultimately, we do have to go to work. Now, some people out there who, for whatever reason, they're in a situation where they don't understand that if we don't go to work, we will die. A lot of people will die, for sure. In fact, the majority of people will die if we don't go to work. All right, so there is that whole thing. And then there's the amount of people who could die if we totally mess up and slip up in the way that it seems as though Iran has done. It seems as though Italy is messed up, but those numbers could be fudged up. In fact, I've heard different ways in which those numbers aren't exactly accurate that they've been fear-mongering about on the news. I can appreciate all that as well. There's a lot of factors. Anyways, to make a long story short, I'd like to say that I pretty much agree with Donald Trump that we should be very safe. At the same time, we should get back to business. We just don't want them to bite us in the butt and start hitting us with more disease. Like, we don't want to slip up and cause ourselves to have all sort of disease if that's not necessary. We do have to get back to business so we can kind of dip our toes into it like an old man into a hot bath and just ease ourselves into it. And perhaps that is the best idea. And I'm down with that. I'm very down with that. So I could be totally misled, but Major Mark said, you keep breaking up. I cannot follow what you are saying. Dang it. Oh, man.